taken to the bed. Just got back from the fair and gave Amos a shower. Well, he wore like Crocs, native shoes, and his feet were black. That used to not bother me, but now that I'm getting old, it does. But look at here. He wore a wristband all night. He did rip the thing off when we were done. But I mean, for years, we could not have a wristband. Like, I would almost start crying, arguing with the ride person to let me just wear 2 wristbands. I seriously have PTSD when they pull out the wristbands. I'm like, I'll wear his. And then I'm like, well, maybe he can. And he puts it on. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I hope someday we are able to have haircuts like this. So we just went to the Chowan County Fair, which I would argue is probably the best fair on the planet, put on by the American Legion. It is awesome. And this is the 3rd year that I have not had to go in the morning on a Wednesday. And so they're really nice, and they invite all the kindergarten through 2nd graders to come to the fair for free. And then the parents meet them at the fair. It's a special form of torture. It's hot. There's gnats. You get a free popcorn and a drink, and there's like 3 rides open. And I don't have to do that anymore because Amos is too old to go. So I saw several friends tonight, and they were like, I told so-and-so that we could stay till 10 o'clock tonight as long as we didn't have to come tomorrow. And you know the teachers don't want them coming. I mean, oh, it's just torture. You went on a date to the Chowan County. That was my husband and I's first date. He said tonight, that was not a date. I was like, yes, it was. It was a date. Oh, you saw me. Oh, hi, Casey. Whew. Yeah, it's a lot of chasing Amos. He likes the fun house and he likes the slide. One year there was a firehouse. He really liked that. They don't have that anymore. So he did both those things. He did the fun house probably 9 times and the slide 3 times. And then I got this is so gross, a bucket of French fries. Like, why did they sell French fries in a bucket? And they trick you. So for $6, you get this little like paper container of French fries. For $12, you get basically 5 of those, and it's in a bucket, which I was like, well, the bucket will be easier to carry. Basically, like I was going trick-or-treating at the fair. Yes, so I ate the French fries, and then I ate basically 3/4 of a bag of cotton candy. I don't even like cotton candy. Well, I do sort of like cotton candy because I didn't know I did, but I ate a bunch of it, and now I feel purity sick. Ugh. You live in Manio, and your husband took your daughter to the Chowan Fair every year. It is really nice. It's tons of green grass. The kids run around like crazy. And, I mean, Amos can't be left to roam, but the typical kids can. And they just run around and have fun with their friends. You know, I typically like enjoy the stages where my children are, but I did feel a little tinge of missing when my big 3 were little, because we would go to the fair as a family and they were all of them running around the big 3 like crazy, and you're giving them money and they're eating and having fun with friends. And I did miss that tonight. It's just not typical for me to miss it. The worst part of the fair is that you have to walk through the building to get to the rides part, and people buy booths or whatever. No, we didn't get an elephant ear. I thought my husband would get one. You can buy cotton candy at the store. Oh, God, I'm not buying any cotton candy. But you go through this booth, and people are, they're like selling things or wanting donations. In the very first booth, inside the door was the Republican booth. And I asked them if they were, I couldn't help myself. I couldn't help it. I really could not help it. I asked them if they were giving out Tylenol. Oh, I was so pleased with myself. I wish the Democrats had been giving out Tylenol. I mean, somebody should have been giving out Tylenol. And then when I went back by, I had to say it again. And one of them said to me, in all seriousness, well, at least I didn't realize how much this pissed me off. Just FYI. At least autism is being talked about. Okay. What? Like, did you just say that to me? So imagine you have like a child with cancer and somebody gets up and says, well, they got cancer from, Fruit Loops, and your child has cancer or whatever. And you're like, but that's not true. And they're like, well, at least they're talking about cancer. No. And I said, well, that was the wrong thing to say to me. I am a mother, and it's my child that has autism. And I talk about it every day. So that wasn't necessary. And what you don't realize is that now there are going to be mothers that are scared to take Tylenol and they're pregnant and they get a fever. And we know that fevers, because the research says fevers are dangerous for prenatal development, that then children could suffer because the mother is scared to take Tylenol, which is safe. So there are real ramifications for this type of talking. And I said, and I have a PhD in research, educational research from NC State, where you pay taxes for people to go. So I was educated in the state of North Carolina, and I feel sure that Carolina and NC State, master's, PhD, taught me how to analyze data. And I did. I had a full ride. I had a 4.0. And I'm telling you, that was not data. So, just like, well, okay. Oh. I mean, I got hot. At least they're talking about autism. Like, are you freaking kidding me? Anyway, I was not going to talk about it anymore, but that made me mad. And the person said, well, it wasn't them, but what a lot of people are saying is like, oh, it makes mothers feel guilty. I'm like, no, it does not. I do not feel guilty that Tylenol can cause autism. One, I didn't even take frickin' Tylenol. And if you did take Tylenol, one, it's safe. And two, you didn't know about it. Hi.
Hey.
We missed you at the fair.
I was not going to that.
Why?
Sorry.
It was fun.
Stop smiling at me. You gotta get them braces off, woman.
Have you studied for chemistry?
Nope. Not enough. Oh,
Yeah. So anyway, just at least they're talking about it. Maybe instead of like making assumptions, like say to somebody like me, how do you feel about it? What do you know about research? Or just 100 different things. I think people think, it doesn't matter to me that it was Donald Trump. You know, it could have been Joe Biden, and I would feel annoyed. You know, this is not political for me, and it's so interesting the people that, like, for somebody in a Republican booth to be telling me that I should appreciate that autism was being talked about. Like, just because you're a Republican, you feel a need to defend this behavior. My husband is a Republican, and I said to him, you know, you sound dumb, be a Republican, but you sound dumb when you support that kind of behavior. I mean, it's like supporting Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, you know, at some point, you better remove yourself, you know? Like, God doesn't want you to go down in other people's mess, would be what I would say. Did you have dinner?
Yep.
Good. So, there you have it. I mean, I'm just not going to stand beside anybody that says stupid shit. I'm not going to. Like, why would I do that? I don't want to look dumb. I mean, it's really the same thing that we say about our children, right? If one of my children does something wrong, like Brian Laundrie, I'm not going to be like his parents, right? Who defended him, likely knew that he had killed his girlfriend and covered up for him. Because that behavior is exactly how Brian Laundrie ended up being that kind of person. So don't be the person that stands by somebody just because you think you need to. Like, do the right thing. Stand with the truth and what's right. And you'll go so much further. And one, people will trust you. You know, at least with me, like, I'm going to be truthful. Yeah, you don't have to justify. Everybody feels like they have to justify it. Yeah, it's strange. And that happens in both sides of politics. This justification, and I just don't get it. I'm not going down with the ship. Or not that ship. I'm going to go down with my own ship, I reckon. But anyway, it was fun. It was fun to see friends. It was, you know, I live with autism every day of my life. Everything we do has to do with autism. You know, we went to the fair, and our almost 12-year-old doesn't run around with friends, and he doesn't go on the rides with the friends. He just wants to do two things on his own, and then he's ready to leave, you know. And I did feel a little bit sad, you know. I would like to know what causes autism. I know it's genetics, but are there some environmental factors? I mean, I would love to help parents know things like that. You know, I don't think it's hard to extrapolate autism from a genetic disorder, anxiety, ADHD. Like somebody said today, well, autism isn't a disease, but Amos's genetic disorder, MSL3, is a disease. And so if the MSL3 causes autism, is it a disease? You know, I don't know. In other news, I did a really fun video earlier to catch a hacker. And the hacker even showed his face. So exciting. And he was laid out in the bed too. How about that? I love a hacker being laid out in the bed. I did worry, though, that the hacker might get in trouble once his boss saw that he showed his face. I was like, I want to see your video. And he kept saying, you know, I'm Chelsea Handler. I'm with Chelsea Handler. I was like, you are not ready for this. You're not ready for this. You're not ready for this. Like, let's talk about Chelsea's children. He's like, okay, yeah. She has a 9-year-old. I'm like, she doesn't have children. You never see an older person with braces. You're in luck. Did anyone in your family have autism? Not that I know of. Did you video the fair? Yes, I just showed a video to my YouTube members and my Facebook subscribers. I shared a video of my husband and Amos on the Ferris wheel. Special video. Sue said my braces look nice. Yeah, he said that the son's name was Watson. Watson Handler. So funny. Oh, golly. Amos, bedtime. We're a little late tonight with the fair. His name Jeffrey. No. Genetics, environmental, and processed food, I believe, is a huge factor. Well, we know genetics and the other things we don't know, and I want us to know, but I want to do research. If the science said to me, holy cow, it's Tylenol, then I'd be like, oh my gosh, this is like major news. Like, it would have been good to know that, you know? But it's not. Is tonight's hacker the same one as last night? No, it was a different hacker. That was Jeffrey. This was, well, they all fake names. I don't know what this fake name was. Carry on, people. Nate spamming. Let's see here. I love to put people in timeout. Nate spamming said, I can't believe you did that. Oh, that's too bad. Tyler, his name was Tyler. It's very intriguing. These people are out to get you. Jordan, his name was Jordan. Oh yeah, Jordan was today. Tyler was yesterday. Tyler Jeffrey. Members, see you in the morning and look forward to it. Wednesday, it's already Wednesday. It's almost the weekend. We don't have school on Monday. It's kind of exciting. And I have somebody who's supposed to be writing college essays. Not quite well. Goodbye.